Hi everybody, this is Prasant Naidu here from Lighthouse Insights, Indian social media news, and carrying forward our conversation feature, we have today Vineet. Vineet, who is the person who's the mind behind 22 Feet, a digital agency. Morning, Vineet.
Morning, Prasant.
I hope you're doing well.
Absolutely.
Okay, Vineet, I know a little bit about you. Why don't you introduce yourself, and then we can, carry forward other questions.
Sure. So hi everyone. Thanks for having me here. My name is Vineet Gupta. I'm the managing partner at 22 Feet, a digital agency which now has presence pan-India with offices in Delhi, Mumbai, and Bangalore. We've been around for about 4 years now, doing all about digital, everything about digital, in fact. And over the last 4 years, we've been blessed with a lot of exciting clients who push us to do great work. We have a strong focus on the youth segment. So if you look at a client portfolio, it actually spans across almost 32 brands across the youth segment. Prior to 22 Feet, I used to be at Microsoft managing their digital solutions across the country. So I was the national marketing head for Microsoft, MSN specifically. And this journey over the last 4 years at 22 Feet has been damn exciting because we've just gotten a chance to, one, build a great team, two, work with beautiful clients, and three, obviously, deliver the work that we believe in. So it's been an exciting journey, and we hope to keep it that way. Okay, so look, the biggest beauty about this medium is that it forces you to be yourself, right? Because if you're not yourself, it'll be visible. It's just a matter of time before it's visible. So if you look at the kind of team that we've built, the culture that we've built at 22 Feet, thinking about youth comes naturally to us. And this is this knowledge that we actually transfer to our clients when we work with them. So when something comes naturally to you, it just seems that much more effective. So everything that we do is by design. So if you look at the brands that we're working with, if you look at the work that's coming out of us, it's got a particular tone to it. And that's the consistency that we've been chasing ever since we existed. So for us, it's very important that any brand that we work with, the thinking comes naturally to our team. Oh, lots of them. In fact, it's not just about campaigns, it's the entire journey. We've been with some brands for over 3 years now. If you look at brands like, for example, Fast Track is one that you mentioned. It's a brand that keeps us on our toes. There's a lot of learning for us when we work with a brand like Fast Track. We use that learning campaign on campaign. We've built the digital footprint across the web. It's not just about social, it's also about what happens on their own and paid properties. Similarly, if you look at Peter England, which is now the largest men's apparel brand across social platforms, it's been a great journey with them as well, because when we started off, the footprint was quite limited. And from there, over 2 years to come to where you are has been a great journey for us. You mentioned Heineken. Heineken, again, is a global brand. There are a lot of learnings that come by virtue of being a global brand. We're just happy to implement those learnings in India. We've always, across the brands that we work with, we've tried our best to stay as true as possible to the brand itself, to the essence of the brand. So we don't try and force fit anything, which does not go well with the attitude of the brand, because again, it's all about authenticity. This medium is about relationships, so we focus on building relationships with our consumers. Must say here that our brands have been very understanding. Look, at the end of the day, it's a constant process, right? The learning never stops. The learning never stops for us as an agency. The learning never stops for them as a client. And we built those beautiful relationships over time. If you look at the campaigns that we've done, from the Fast Track Change the Name, which is right now going on, to Heineken Social Reporter, there's one thing in common, that these are brands that can pull this off with natural ease. It does not look like the brand is trying too hard. And that's something we're very, very conscious of. So any brand that you see out there is just about doing what you truly stand for. And we, in fact, have those conversations with our brands and make sure that we stay true to that. Okay, so this is going to be my personal point of view, not necessarily the agency's.
Right.
But I am strongly against it, right? Hashtags are great for generating conversations, but a non-branded hashtag, beyond a point, does nothing for the brand, right? Unless it is seamlessly integrated, like let's say a brand hashtag called Jagore, which the hashtag itself makes sense, and that happens to be the brand as well. But anything else outside of that, like for example, change your movie names with titles or stuff like that, I don't know how much it does for the brand. So I'm quite against that. I don't think it does much. While it can give you, you could feel good about it because it's trended for a couple of days, few hours, whatever. At the end of the day, if the brand name is not there in the hashtag, I don't know how much sense it makes. So some of the successful branded hashtags that I can think of, if you look at KF Beer Up, I think it's a hashtag that has trended every time it started over the last 2 years, right? And it has a brand name right there. If you look at Jagore, while it might not have trended, but at least the hashtag is true to the brand. So there are a few examples of, I can think of another example done by another agency called Anything for Jetta. I think that was a great branded hashtag campaign. So I'm totally for hashtags as long as there is something in it for the brand. Non-branded hashtags, I have serious doubts. Okay, look, we are all for anything that helps us measure our efforts. And I think it's no different even at the brand's end. So we've been having conversation, and obviously every brand wants to invest in measuring their digital efforts. So the requirement for a tool is always there. Having said that, we've been seeing a lot of tools, right? Some of them have gone a step further and providing us insights which are not available otherwise, right? But most of the tools are still, there are some inherent issues in terms of, what they report, right? So for example, if you look at sentiment, right, that is something that every brand wants to track. But the accuracy of the sentiment being tracked is still in question, right? Because no one has really cracked the semantic part of it yet, right? So we don't know whether those tools are effective as they should be. I'm sure it's going to be evolving over a period of time. And once that happens, we definitely see a lot more brands investing in them. Right now, whatever tools there are a few which are really good. And we're obviously playing with them. So are our clients, right? But I think there's still a long way to go in terms of a tool that's truly worth its salt. Also, you have to look at these tools in the Indian context, right? Where the volume of conversation for most categories, obviously there are certain categories which have very high volume of conversation, but for most categories, the volume of conversation is not high enough to draw some meaningful insights. You know what I mean? So that's what we're saying, that once the volume picks up, and we see that picking up on a daily basis almost, we have more data to play with, and I'm sure the tools are going to get more intelligent. So I think we're headed in the right direction, but even now, there are still some issues for all these guys to get their act together. One way of looking at social media is the kind of platforms that are out there, right? But I do believe that's a very myopic way of looking at things. Just having a Facebook strategy, Twitter strategy, it's being done for a while, but that's not what social is all about, right? Social, as a lot of people call it, is the fabric of the web, right? So therefore, I believe the biggest trend that we see going forward is that social is much beyond platforms. And if you look at it, everything is going social, right? So products are going social, retail is going social, organizations are going social, the consumer is going social. So I think the biggest trend right now would be how brands leverage social outside of just social platforms. So while the fabric remains the same, the efforts that they put into getting social is much beyond just the platform itself. So you will see a lot of innovation happening. You've seen the latest, the camera ad by Samsung, which has Facebook integrated on it. You've seen stores with like buttons integrated on it. So there's a lot of stuff that is happening using social outside of social. And that's the biggest trend that I see this time.
Thank you, Vineet, for your time.
Thanks, Prashant. It's been a pleasure.